welcome to another video. Welcome to my channel. We'll be talking about external range liquidity and internal range liquidity. As we all know, or if you don't know, in order for you to identify external range liquidity, it is simply what resides above and below a candle. Take note that every candle is a range. For example, if this is a candle on the daily chart, on the 1 hour or the 15 minute, this same candle will be something like this. The price rallies from this low, it opens here, goes down, reaches this high and closes here. Because every candle is a range, this is equivalent to this because the market is fractal as well. So above here we have buy side liquidity, BSL, because if in a scenario where people were selling from here, their stop losses will be most likely above this high, and below here we have sell side liquidity, which is below here. Anybody who is buying will have their stop losses here, which is in the form of a buy stop. When price opens here and rallies lower to expand to this place, on the lower time frame it will tap into different ranges of internal range liquidity. Now, what is internal range liquidity? Internal range liquidity will come in the form of our different tools like the order blocks, which may be what begins the distribution here. Then you may have a fair value gap here. Maybe if price has to come here and continue, you may have another range here of internal range liquidity. That is how the market has always functioned, and that is how the market will always function on various pairs, various asset classes, be it forex, crypto, futures, bonds, indices. The same thing will happen over and over again. So now we know that everything inside of the range here is a level of internal range liquidity. The different examples now that you will know should be the order blocks. If you say you don't know how to identify an order block, or you don't know how to use an order block, you can look at the previous videos on my channel. There are fair value gaps, and fair value gaps is probably my favorite PZRA. It is very necessary, very essential. There are also breakers and mitigation blocks. These are the PZRAs that you can include as the levels of internal range liquidity. Even though a fair value gap, it is said it is a level of inefficiency and price comes into balance, but these are the levels that are available inside of the candle range, which will make price expand higher. As we all know, or as we are learning to here, price moves in 4 ways. It accumulates, it distributes or expands, it retraces, and then it reverses. So here, for example, here, if after this scenario price has to reverse, price will take out buy side liquidity here. I'll put this as a white candle since my wall is black. I'll put this as a white candle, put in the wick, which can be here. Should forgive my wick or my candle. We are not really here to make it look beautiful. We are here to make we're here to make these things for you to understand. Taking for instance, price takes out buy side liquidity here and rejects, and we have another candle coming back down to expand to the downside, going back for sell side liquidity. what is occurring here is a reversal after price takes out external range liquidity. So let's talk about these four processes. When price wants to expand, the first step must be the accumulation. Accumulation occurs during the open and a few minutes after the open before it may rally down, since it's a bullish example, and expand. The levels of internal range liquidity are created for price to retrace into or pull back into, and it will continue. In this scenario here, as given, price has taken out external range liquidity. On the higher time frame, you will notice that price will have tapped into a level of internal range here, because price moves from range to range, and it would have taken out this, and now it is rejecting. This is where the reversal will come, and before the reversal, it will also have a small accumulation, maybe here, then it expands to the downside. Will be the same scenario here, just a difference in the time frames because the market is fractal. If you want to look at it as a bullish example, this is going to be the same thing. It's just a difference in the scale. That is how the market will always function. If we have to look at examples, I would like to remove the drawings from everything. Here we are on USD JPY. This is not a pair I trade often, but we can still use it as an example. Here we have price. It has come tapped into this fair value gap. This is a bearish fair value gap, which was created after price reacted to this little order block. I say this is an order block because it rejected from here. This is some previous equal highs, and price has created a fair value gap here. You see price rejecting the fair value gap here, shows with the wick, and we see it expanding to the downside. From my point of view, it is coming for this level of external range liquidity, that's sell side liquidity. If you have to look at the trades that you can catch from this trade here, going down to the daily, what do we have? Price tapped into that fair value gap here and took out this high, creating a little total soup and rejecting. We have the rejection here. We have this bullish fair value gap, which will induce buyers. Remember that the order flow and the direction of price will always be right, but there will always be things that will try to fool you into thinking the opposite way. I've been a victim of some of these circumstances multiple times, and that is what made me to learn my mistake. Here we have price creating a shift in market structure to the sell side. That is a failed swing actually, but we have this swing high, swing low, a lower high, and then the lower low with a fair value gap here. Knowing how price functions, understanding each and every time frame is crucial, because if you don't know how to blend your time frames, no matter what you learn, it is pointless. Like in this scenario here, we have a weekly fair value gap. My favorite time frame for structure will be the 4-hour chart. If it is a daily chart, that we have a higher time frame level of context. Like in this scenario, the higher time frame level of context is the weekly fair value gap. If we are on a daily chart, I'll be looking at the 1 hour and the 15 minute. From this scenario, if I have to be taking a trade, I'll be looking at an entry from the fair value gap with the stop loss above the high, and here we have this 1:3, which I still believe that price is going to complete. This is a good trade for swing traders. If it's that we have to look at other examples, I gave a weekly highlight on gold, which is this 1:4. The same understanding, price is inside of a weekly fair value gap, which is here, and we are looking at structure on the daily time frame. It was looking like an order block. It has rejected this low already. This is really a good sign of strength because price is buying. And on the 4-hour chart, we have this as a shift in market structure and the fair value gap. And if we have to look even more, you can see here price created a daily fair value gap, a daily balance price range here because of the inversion between the bullish and the bearish. We we have this here as our daily fair value gap. You can go down to the 1 hour chart to look at the structure. The 1 hour doesn't have a lot of structure. The best will be a 15-minute time frame. From here, when you look at this, you see that price has come here, so taking out this low, and it's showing a sign of rejection. Where is our change of character? This is not a change of character because price has not closed with the body here. We see the rejection. Instead, price comes back, takes out this low, and it comes back for this. Here, there's a probability that price could come back for this fair value gap to keep rallying, but sometimes it won't do it. That is why, for me, I'm a very aggressive trader. When I have my shifts in market structure, I have my entry immediately, low risk, and my high risk, my limit order will be in my fair value gap waiting till my target, which my target on gold is 3,500, which you can see here, this previous all-time high. GBP USD is also giving the same kind of scenarios. Like here, we have this as a 4-hour fair value gap created inside of this shift in market structure. This 4-hour shift in market structure is inside of the weekly fair value gap, which is our level of context. If you notice, you will see how price is always blending. Okay, we have this, but you will not want to be putting your trade as in take the 4-hour fair value gap, 4-hour shift in market structure here, because the range is too small. You will not want the 1:1. So you will be looking now into the 4-hour. Let me remove this so that I'll give you my state of mind before I had this. This was not a trade I took. This is just a same logic, but I've shown you an example with a trade I've taken, which is on gold, which I'm still holding now. With this here, if you go to the 15-minute time frame, we have this here as our shift in market structure and a fair value gap. If you look at all these other moves that touched into the fair value gap, there is no shift in market structure here yet. There is no major move, unless you want to be looking at this, which is not really the best that you can be looking at. It is very small, but yeah, it is still worth its while. But I would still prefer looking at this one because this one is the most significant. Entry here, stop loss here,